Hello everyone. Welcome to my new channel. On this channel, you will get all the latest and exclusive videos related to 90 Day Fiancé. If you love drama, real love stories, shocking twists, and emotional moments, then you are in the right place. New videos are uploaded regularly. Rhythm of a security alarm. In the blurry, chaotic footage that has been whispered about in dark corners of the internet, you don't see a criminal mastermind. You see a blonde woman trembling, cornered by stone-faced security guards outside a gleaming storefront. We know her as the jet-setting, diamond-wearing queen of She Chases Love. She chases fame. And she chases the high life with a desperation that has kept us all glued to our screens for years. Happens when the cameras turn off, the credit cards stop working, and the addiction to tonight, We Are Luxury becomes exposing the incident that the network desperately tried to bury. The alarms, the police involvement, and the humiliating moment Darcey Silva allegedly screamed, "I'm a celebrity," while being detained for stealing a pair of designer sunglasses. Is this a simple misunderstanding? Or is it the tragic symptom of a woman who has finally lost her grip on reality? Let's pause and look at the psychology of the mark. Why sunglasses? In the world of shoplifting, specifically to do something crucial. If you want us to keep digging to hunt down the police bodycam footage that is synced to video suppressed by high-powered legal teams, hit that like button until it turns blue and smash subscribe to the tell-all tapes. We are the only channel brave enough to investigate the stories TLC wants to disappear. Join the jury because this investigation is just getting started. To understand it, crime, we first have to understand the desperation. You cannot look at the incident in the Gucci store in a vacuum. It is the final explosive result of a pressure cooker that has been building for months, hidden behind filters and fast tune. We call this chapter TH. They allege that during the filming of the last season, there were multiple instances where credit cards were declined during lunch breaks. Imagine the scene. The cameras are rolling. The lighting is perfect. Darcey is talking about her net big business venture. But when the bill comes for a salad and a glass of wine, the card is rejected. The humiliation of that moment is the key to understanding her psyche. When you build your entire identity around being a boss babe and a wealthy icon, poverty isn't just a financial state. It is the end fashion line. But supply chain insiders have long whispered that the margins are razor thin and the inventory turnover is sluggish. If the business isn't generating the liquid cash needed to maintain a celebrity lifestyle in 2024, where is the money coming from? It isn't. And that is where the danger lies. Psychologists who study celebrity behavior often talk about the Joneses effect on steroids. For a normal person, keeping up with the Joneses means buying a new lawnmower. For Darcey Silva, it means wearing Balenciaga and Louis Vuitton every single time she steps out the door. She believes her value as a human being is directly tied to the labels on her body. If she isn't wearing luxury, she feels invisible. And for a narcissist, invisibility is worse than prison. This brings us to the morning of the incident. We have reconstructed the timeline based on scattered reports and witness statements from locals in Connecticut. It was a Tuesday, not a red carpet event, just a regular Tuesday. But for Darcey, every day is a performance. Reports suggest she started the day already on edge. There are shop in Middletown who says a woman matching Darcey's description made a scene early that morning. The allegation, her mobile payment app was declined for a simple latte. The witness described the woman as frantic, wearing oversized sunglasses indoors and muttering about banking errors and glitches. If this is true, it sets the stage perfectly. She starts her day with a rejection, a financial rejection, a reminder that the money isn't there. For most of us, a declined card is annoying. For Darcey, it is a crack in the mirror. It challenges, so what does she do? She flees. She heads to the one place where she feels she belongs. The one place where dreams are sold to the highest bidder, New York City. She takes the train into the city. Now visualize the journey. She's scrolling through social media, seeing other reality stars posing with new cars, new jewelry, new sponsorships. The algorithm is feeding her insecurity. She feels she is falling behind. She feels irrelevant. By the time she arrives in Manhattan, she is in a state of heightened anxiety. She needs a win. She needs a dopamine hit. She needs to feel like the queen of TLC again. She doesn't go to a park. She doesn't go to a museum. She goes to the Hudson Yards. Or perhaps Soho. The reports on the eeked location vary, but the atmosphere is consistent. High-end, elite, quiet. The kind of place where security guards wear suits, and the air conditioning is set to a crisp. She walks past the window displays. The mannequins are wearing clothes that cost more than most people's cars. She sees the reflection of the woman she wants to be. And then she enters the store. According to the confidential timeline we've pieced together, she entered the boutique around 31 p.m. It wasn't a confident entrance. Witnesses allegedly described her behavior as erratic. She wasn't strutting. She was darting. Her eyes were moving too fast. She was wearing large dark glasses, perhaps to hide puffy eyes from crying or perhaps to hide her identity. Though ironically, she likely wanted to be recognized. She bypasses the clothing racks. Why? Because clothing requires a fitting room. It requires interaction with sales associates. Let's pause and look at the psychology of the mark. Why sunglasses? In the world of shoplifting specifically, celebrity shoplifting, sunglasses are the #1 target. They are easy to conceal, upload, and they carry a massive price tag. We are talking about Gucci frames that retail for $800 or more. For Darcey, sunglasses are also a shield. They cover the age lines. They cover the tears. They cover the reality. No mercy, no filter. The tell-all tapes investigation begins. Tonight, we're opening a file that never should have been closed. Not because it's juicy. Not because it's messy. But because it reveals something darker about fame in 2024. What happens when the image collapses, and the person underneath can't survive without it? Before we begin, a quick but necessary note. What you're about to hear is built from scattered online chatter, alleged witness accounts, and claims that have not been confirmed by official public records in a single clean report. That means we are treating this as an investigation. An analysis of a narrative that the internet insists is real. We are not declaring guilt. We are asking a question. If this happened the way people claim it happened, what does it tell us about the psychology of celebrity survival? Now, picture the footage the internet whispers about. Shaky. Blurry. Chaotic. A luxury storefront so polished it looks like a museum. Security alarms pulsing like a heartbeat. Stone-faced guards moving with calm precision. And in the center of that storm, a blonde woman trembling, cornered, speaking fast, panicked, like her mouth is trying to outrun reality itself. The internet claims that woman was Darcey Silva. The same Darcey we know, jet-setting, diamond-wearing, romantic warrior, the queen of dramatic reinvention. She chases love. She chases spotlight. She chases the high life with the kind of desperation that makes viewers unable to look away. But what happens when the cameras turn off? What happens when the credit cards stop working? What happens when the addiction to luxury becomes a trap instead of a reward? Because the allegation is brutal, that Darcey Silva was detained for stealing a pair of designer sunglasses, supposedly in a Gucci-style high-end environment, while allegedly shouting the phrase that has become a meme in the darkest corners of the internet, "I'm a celebrity." Again. Alleged. Unverified. But here's the real story. Even the rumor feels believable to people. And that's what makes it dangerous. Because if the public can instantly imagine it, that means the persona has already cracked. We're going to reconstruct the timeline the way true crime channels reconstruct a missing person case. Carefully, step by step, and with an eye for the details that reveal motive, not just drama. And yes, we're also going to pause and talk about the psychology of the mark. Because in celebrity shoplifting lore, there's a pattern that repeats like a curse. But first, we need to establish the pressure cooker. You cannot analyze a luxury store incident in a vacuum. If this story has any truth at all, it is not a random mistake. It's the last domino in a chain of humiliation, instability, and identity collapse that has been building behind filters, editing, and brand deals. The first layer of this case is financial anxiety. Multiple online whispers claim that during filming periods, or during public outings connected to the celebrity lifestyle, there were moments when cards were declined. Not once. Not a rare glitch. But enough that people noticed. Now imagine the psychology of that moment. The cameras are rolling. The lighting is perfect. You are performing boss babe, wealth icon, hot girl healing era. You've built an entire identity around being expensive. And then the waiter comes back with that polite, quiet voice. "I'm so sorry. It didn't go through." Most of us experience that as annoyance, embarrassment, A technical problem. But for someone whose self-worth is tied to luxury signals, a declined card is not a banking error. It's an existential threat. It's a crack in the mirror. It's reality trying to break into the performance. And if you've watched Darcey over the years, her constant reinvention, the obsession with appearance, the extreme need to be seen as desirable, rich, adored, you know how much that mirror matters. Psychologists who study celebrity behavior call it a distortion loop. The person becomes addicted to the identity the public responds to. They don't just want attention. They need it the way a drowning person needs air. And luxury is not just fashion in that loop. It's armor. It's proof. Proof that they still matter. So when the internet claims that the money wasn't there, the question becomes, then how is the lifestyle maintained? Sponsorships? Appearance fees? Small business margins? Online product lines? The rumors say there's a high-end fashion brand element in her world, but insiders in these kinds of influencer businesses often whisper about razor-thin margins and slow inventory turnover. If the business isn't generating liquid cash consistently, the lifestyle becomes a stage set, beautiful from the front, empty behind the walls. And that's where the danger begins. Because the Joneses effect for a normal person is buying a new lawnmower to look successful. For a reality celebrity, it's Balenciaga on a Tuesday, Louis Vuitton at the airport, designer sunglasses indoors, and a constant parade of luxury signals to reassure the audience and, more importantly, the self. In this world, invisibility feels like death. And for someone with narcissistic traits or fragile self-esteem, invisibility can feel worse than prison. Now we arrive at the alleged day of the incident. Reports vary on exact location. Some say Soho, some say Hudson Yards, some say a luxury boutique district with security in suits and air conditioning set to an icy, judgmental cold. But the narrative is consistent. It was not a red carpet night. Not a formal event. Just a regular Tuesday. And that matters, because regular days are the most dangerous for someone addicted to performance. On a red carpet day, the attention is guaranteed. On a random Tuesday, you have to manufacture the moment. You have to create the "I'm still that girl" feeling yourself. The scattered timeline claims she started the day already on edge. There's a rumor of an earlier scene, a coffee shop in Connecticut, a simple purchase, a mobile payment app allegedly declined. The witness version describes frantic energy, oversized sunglasses indoors, muttering about glitches and banking errors, agitation that didn't match the situation. Again, unverified. But if it's even half true, it fits the pattern. The day begins with rejection. A financial rejection. A reminder that the money might not be real. For most of us, a declined card is a minor inconvenience. For Darcey Silva, if we accept the psychological profile the public perceives, it's humiliation. It's identity damage. So what does a person like that do next? They flee the scene. They go to the place where the fantasy feels possible. The rumor says she took a train into New York City. And I want you to visualize that ride. The phone scroll. The social media feed. Other reality stars posing with new cars, new jewelry, new sponsored vacations, filtered perfection. The algorithm doesn't just show content. It weaponizes insecurity. Every swipe becomes a reminder. You're falling behind. You're becoming irrelevant. You're not the headline anymore. By the time she allegedly arrives in Manhattan, she's not just stressed. She's in a state of heightened emotional hunger. She needs a win. She needs a dopamine hit. She needs to feel like the queen again. And she doesn't go to a museum. She doesn't go to a quiet park. She goes toward luxury. Because luxury stores are not stores to a person like this. They are temples. They sell transformation. They sell the fantasy version of the self. Now, here's where the psychology of the mark becomes important. Why sunglasses? In the world of shoplifting, sunglasses are a high-frequency target because they're easy to conceal, high-value, and quick to grab. But in celebrity shoplifting rumors specifically, sunglasses are even more symbolic. They are a disguise and a status symbol in one object. They hide the eyes, the most honest part of the face. They hide shame. They hide tears. They hide panic. And they scream, "I belong here." Even when the person inside feels like they don't. According to the alleged witness timeline, she entered the boutique around early afternoon. Not with confident swagger. With darting eyes. Restless movement. A body language that looks less like shopping and more like escape. Sales associates in these stories often describe a certain energy. Not browsing, not enjoying, but scanning. Like the person is searching for a fast fix. And that's the key word. Fix. Because luxury can function like a drug. The purchase creates a temporary high. I'm still somebody. I'm still rich. I still win. And if the rumor is true that she bypassed clothing racks, it makes sense. Clothing requires fitting rooms. Fitting rooms require conversation. Conversation creates friction. Friction creates the risk of being exposed. Sunglasses are simple. Grab, conceal, leave. But the story claims something went wrong. Maybe cameras caught the movement. Maybe a tag sensor tripped. Maybe security already recognized erratic behavior. Maybe the store had a zero-tolerance protocol because high-end theft is common. Whatever happened, the allegation is that the alarm sounded, security moved in, and the fantasy shattered in real time. And then comes the humiliation. The moment the internet won't let die, I'm a celebrity. If that line was actually spoken, it's not just entitlement. It's desperation. It's a person trying to use identity as a weapon against consequences. It's the belief that fame should function like immunity. It's also a panic response. If they treat me like a normal person, then I am a normal person, and that is the one thing the persona cannot accept. Because normal means replaceable. Normal means invisible. Normal means the world moves on without you. Now let's be clear. We do not currently have confirmed official documents in your provided text. No verified police report, no official body cam, no court filing in hand. And because of that, we're not going to pretend we have receipts we don't have. But we can still analyze why this story spread so fast and why people believe it. Because it fits a tragic arc the audience has been watching for years. A public figure who built everything on being desired, being expensive, being adored, eventually collides with the reality that attention fades, money fluctuates, and the character becomes a cage. In the next part, we'll zoom in on the alleged pressure cooker months leading up to this moment. The instability, the branding desperation, the relationship chaos, and the way reality TV trains people to escalate their own lives just to remain relevant. We'll also break down the classic celebrity theft psychology. How the act is often less about money and more about control, thrill, and proof of existence. And yes, we'll lay out what evidence would actually look like if we were to verify this. What to search, what public records might exist, and what red flags indicate pure internet psychology of collapse. Why fame makes people steal, even when they don't need to. Now that we've reconstructed the alleged day itself, we have to step back and ask the harder question. The one that makes people uncomfortable. If someone like Darcey Silva were ever involved in something like this, why would it happen at all? Not legally. Not procedurally. Psychologically. Because celebrity theft is almost never about money. It's about control. It's about identity. And it's about a desperate attempt to feel real again when fame starts slipping through your fingers. Psychologists who study high-profile shoplifting cases, Winona Ryder, Lindsay Lohan, Megan Fox rumors, countless athletes and influencers, have noticed the same repeating pattern. These are people who could afford the item. Often many times over. But the theft itself isn't the point. The act becomes a moment of power. A moment where rules don't apply. A moment where the person feels above reality. And when reality has been humiliating you, declined cards, fading relevance, shrinking opportunities, that moment can feel intoxicating. This is where the concept of celebrity entitlement fracture comes in. When someone lives too long inside a bubble where staff, fans, producers, and brands treat them as special, their brain slowly rewires around that treatment. They stop seeing themselves as a participant in society and start seeing themselves as an exception to it. But here's the twist. When the special treatment begins to fade, the entitlement doesn't disappear. It panics. And panic leads to reckless behavior. Look at the alleged behavior patterns leading up to the incident. Emotional volatility. Hyperfocus on appearance. Obsession with being seen, winning. Constant reinvention without stability. These aren't random personality quirks. They're survival strategies for someone whose income, validation, and identity are tied to staying visible. Reality TV doesn't just film people. It trains them. It teaches them that being calm doesn't get screen time. Being stable doesn't go viral. Being quiet doesn't pay. Escalation does. Drama does. Reinvention does. Now add financial instability into that mix. Even rumors of it are enough to destabilize someone whose self-worth is tied to appearing rich. And let's talk about that word. Appearing. Because appearing rich and being rich are not the same thing. Influencer economics in 2024 are brutal. Brand deals fluctuate. Algorithms shift. Viewer fatigue sets in. What worked 5 years ago doesn't automatically work now. And when the checks slow down but the lifestyle doesn't, the pressure multiplies. There's another key element people overlook. Humiliation trauma. Public figures experience humiliation differently than private individuals. For a private person, embarrassment is temporary and local. For a celebrity, humiliation feels permanent and global. Even a small incident, like a declined payment in front of staff or fans, can feel catastrophic because it threatens the illusion the entire brand is built on. And when humiliation stacks up, the brain starts searching for shortcuts back to power. That's where impulsive behavior comes in. Impulsivity isn't stupidity. It's urgency. It's the brain saying, fix this feeling now. And luxury environments are designed to trigger impulse. The lighting. The mirrors. The silence. The exclusivity. The sense that if you own this item, you become the person you're supposed to be again. Sunglasses, in particular, play a unique psychological role. They don't just accessorize. They transform. Put them on, and you're hidden. Protected. Elevated. You don't have to make eye contact. You don't have to explain yourself. So when people scoff and say, why sunglasses? The answer is simple. Because they're armor. Because they're portable identity. Because they say, I belong here without a single word. And because for someone whose public image is everything, losing that image feels like losing oxygen. Now let's address the moment of alleged confrontation. Security involvement is the point of no return in these stories. Because until that moment, the fantasy can still survive. The person can still tell themselves it's a misunderstanding. A glitch. A mistake. But when uniformed authority steps in, especially calm, professional authority, the illusion collapses. And that's when panic language appears. Statements like, do you know who I am? Or I'm a celebrity aren't about arrogance. They're about bargaining. They're a last-ditch ATT.